Hello students, welcome back to Programming in C. Myself Sreekanth. We are discussing computer fundamentals. On that, the agenda of this today's session about operating system. Like what is operating system, functions of operating system, structure, measuring the system performance, concepts of operating system, components of operating system, and suitable examples of operating system. So we'll discuss today in detail about what exactly an operating system, how it is useful in the computer environment. Okay. See, what is this operating system? Operating system is an important component of the computer system. It can be defined as a set of programs that control how the system works. It is the most important program that runs on a computer. So it is considered the backbone of a computer because it managing both software and hardware resources. See, all computers must have an what? Operating system. Used for what? Starting the computer and to run other programs. And it provides what? An interface between the user and the hardware of a computer system. Simply you can remember what is operating system. Operating system is an interface between what? User and hardware components. Here users are nothing but who using the computer, who are interacting with the computer. Those are all comes under what? Users or end users. See, users may be in a different parts, but who is using the computer, who are interacting with the computer, those are all become what? End users. Here hardware components are nothing but like processors, motherboard, hardware devices, several hardware devices we discussed, right? Input devices, output devices, like that. Then how this user is going to be interacting with this hardware? See, here we required what? One software. That software is called system software. The best example is called operating system. See, operating system is nothing but it provides an interface between the user and the hardware of what? Computer system. See, operating system performs what? Basic task like such as recognizing the input from the keyboard. We discussed, right, how to pass data or instructions through the input device, especially what? Keyboard. Like sending output to the display screen. Several output devices we discussed, like monitors, right? Hard copies, soft copies we discussed. See, display screen, keeping track of files and directories on the disk and controlling peripheral devices such as disk drives and printers. So this is done by what? Operating system. For large systems, the operating system has even greater responsibilities and powers. It is responsible for what? Security, ensuring that unauthorized users do not access the system. See, the operating system is loaded what? Automatically into the computer. Whenever we start the computer, more than one type of operating system can also be installed on one computer. But at one time, only one operating system will be functional. See, once the operating system has started up, it manages what? All of the softwares and the hardware on the computer. See, most of the time, there are many different programs running at the same time, and they all need to access your computer's CPU, Central Processing Unit, memory, and storage. The operating system coordinates what? All of these to make sure that each program gets what it needs. Without the operating system, the software would not even be able to talk to the hardware and the computer would be useless. Because suppose you are purchasing a hardware like monitor you purchased, CPU purchased, like all motherboard, input output devices you purchased. Can we interact? No. What we require to interact these hardware components, we must required what? It requires what? Operating system. Without operating system, user cannot communicate with this computer. Okay. So operating system behaves like what? Backbone of the computer. See, you can take it also allows you to what? Communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. Because I already explained, the computer machine always understands what? machine understandable language, low level language, but end users understood what high level languages like English, like high level languages like several real world languages, right? But how this user is going to be communicating with these computer, this operating system is going to be minimizing the work and easy to communicate user to the machine, because it enables what GUI, graphical user interfaces, and also allows what high level instructions, supports for to understanding user. Those application user can directly communicate with the help of these operating system instruction. Internally it's going to be communicate with what various hardware devices. Okay, simply you can remember what is operating system. Operating system is a software that enables, or it is an interface between what user to the hardware. Okay, several operating systems are available in the market. Most popular operating systems like DOS, disk operating system, OS by 2, Unix, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8. See, nowadays we are using Windows 10, Linux based operating system, Unix based operating system. Like most popular operating systems are available in the market. Okay, see, coming to the history of the operating system, see, the first operating system used for what real work was GMNAAIO, produced in 1956 by General Motors Research Division for its IBM 704 machines. Okay, simply you can remember the first operating system, like first practical operating system, simple, called batch processing IO management, input output management. The computer, in which computers used IBM 704, on which year 1956. So this is about what first operating system. See, later like 1960s, IBM OS by 360 series, like mainframes. Okay, time sharing, multi batch processing, memory management, virtual machines, VM 370. See, these are all used for 1960s. Coming to 1970s, like Unix. Computer system is what? Mini computers or workstations. First modern operating system developed with what? Machine independent languages. Provides standard interfaces, integrated development environments around 1970s by Unix. And 1980s, like Mac operating system, Windows, Linux based operating system, generally used on which computers? Personal computers. It provides modern GUI, improves usability for what? Personal users. So around 2000, it enables what? Like Apple. Okay, see, this Apple iOS, Google Android, Windows Phone, these are all what? Smartphones, computer based operating systems. So it customizes of what? Traditional operating systems, improves what? Usability for what? Mobile devices. So like new app delivery models, app stores, Google Play, like that. Okay, see, everywhere we are using these operating system. Wherever this hardware is there, user want to communicate with this hardware for performing any kind of application interactions or application developments, we must require what? Operating system. Okay, operating system is nothing but what? It is an interface between what? User and a hardware of computer system. Operating system enables several features, concepts, structures, operations. We'll discuss one by one. Okay, yes. See, that is about the definition of what? Operating system. Coming to the functions of operating system, observe. This operating system can manage like hardware drives, several applications, inbuilt applications, system related applications, user related applications, and it monitors like hardware devices and printers like mouses, keyboards, input devices. Like operating system takes what? Backbone of what? Computer environment. Several functions like process management, memory management, input output management, file management, device management, establishment of what? Priority systems, interpretation of commands or instructions, deadlock preventions, time management, and coordinating with what? System softwares or hardwares, and it enables what? Security. The complete operation is going to be managed by what? Operating system. See, simply remember, operating system, it works as an what? Interface between what? User and hardware, several software of the applications. Okay, simply you can remember, it is an interface between computers, hardware, and software. See, what is this process management? Okay, see, don't worry, I'm not discussing in detail about all these things. We have a separate subject called operating system. There I will explain each and everything in detail. But at basic computer fundamentals, you need to know what are the process management, what is memory management, what are the functions of operating system. You have a basic idea. I'm going to give that much of idea about functions of operating system. Okay, see, process management, that is assignment of processor to different tasks being performed by the computer system. It going to be manages what? Process. Okay, and next, memory management. We are all familiar about memories, right? Different types of memories we have discussed in detail in the previous video sessions, correct? These memory management, like allocation of main memory and other storage areas to the system programs, as well as what? User programs, that is managed by what? Operating system. I told you, once we are passing any kind of data and instructions to the computer, first it stores into the storage area like main memory. I explained. Then who is monitoring, who is managing that the instructions storing in main memory and passing into the control unit, again processing, after processing, during processing, before processing, that instructions are storing and maintaining. Who is managing that one? That is managed by what? Operating systems. Okay, and IO management, like input output management. See, that is assignment of the different input output devices to one or more programs while they are being executed. See, operating system also do what? Input output management. And file management, coming to file management, like, see, it creation of new file, modification in an existing file, or copying or moving a file from one storage location into another storage. See, that is also managed by what? Operating system. And establishment of what? Priority systems, like it determines and maintains the order in which jobs are to be executed in the computer system. Assume like 10 jobs are came, 10 works are came, which work should get to be execute first, which work should has least priority. How it going to be setting the priorities? That are also taken by what? Operating system. It going to be setting the priority of the job, which one has a higher priority, which one has a medium priority, which one has a least priority. Okay, so that is also managed by what? Operating system. And interpretation of what? Commands or instructions. See, assignment of what? Software programs to different computers users according to their demand. Establishment of what? Data security and data integrity, so that unauthorized users like malware users entered, they try to access our data and instruction, then how? Who is going to be providing a security? Operating system is going to be providing a security for what? Unauthorized users does not access the system. Automatic transitions from job to job as directed by special control statements, that also taken by what? Operating systems. See, during program like loading or executions or any kind of errors may occur in computers hardware or memory, the operating system detects such error and it takes appropriate actions to ensure the correct and consistent what? Computing. See, that is also done by what? Operating system. Operating system also manages what? Error handlings about hardware related and software related, memory related issues. See, operating system facilitates what? Easy communication between the computer system and the computer user. So these are all what? Various functions of operating system. I hope all are clear, right? What is operating system? Operating system behaves like an interface between what? User and the hardware of the computer systems. It facilitates several functionalities of operating systems like process management, memory management, input output management, file management, device management, establishment of priority systems, interpretation of what? Commands or instructions, deadlock preventions, time management, coordinating with system softwares or hardware, and also it enables what? Security. See, these are all about what? Functions of operating systems. Okay, coming to the structure, just only explained the structure looks like this. This is about a user, It is about hardware. Users are nothing but what? Who are interacting with the computer or who are using the computer. Those are all comes under what? End users. Okay, best examples. We are using the computer or we are interacting with the computer. Those are all comes under what? Users. Here hardwares are nothing but what? Like CPUs, disks, memories, all comes under what? Hardware devices, like input devices, output devices. These are all comes under what? Hardware. Suppose you are going to the market and purchasing this hardware, like computer you purchased, it going to be run directly? No. What required? See, it requires what? One software. That software is called system software. Best examples like operating system. Without operating system, user cannot do any kind of operation over computer. Okay, operating system enables what? Like system related software and application related softwares, like system related programs like shells, editors, compilers, interpreters, like process management, time management, device management, thread management, like several internal system related operations are activated. Coming to the applications, users are going to be interacting with these applications like CA based applications, GUI based applications, network based applications, web applications, mobile applications, like high level application, real world, whatever the applications we are using, those applications can interact by the end user. Without operating system, we cannot do any kind of interaction, we cannot do any kind of operation over computers. Got it? See, these applications like compilers, databases, games, video players, browsers, you can take any kind of application like inbuilt applications or user development applications also. So without operating system, we cannot do any kind of interaction between the computer. Okay, so operating system takes very vital role. That's what operating system is, a backbone of computer. It is an interface between what? User and hardware. It enables what? Several system related applications, instructions, and user related applications. Okay, that's it. So this is about what? Basic structure of what? Operating system. Okay, so you can take some examples, real-time examples like operating system architecture. Assume it is application tools used by what? End users. Generally in operating system, two areas are there. One is called user space, another called kernel space. Okay, two things. Don't worry sir, what is this kernel, what is this user? Okay, we'll discuss in detail in the operating system. Just you can remember it. Internally the operating system consists what? Two environments. One is called user space. Their user related instructions, data is going to be executed in that area. The kernel space, it's going to be executed what? System related instructions and data are going to be executed. See, the user space comes under what? Application tools. Here system calls is responsible to interacting with the user environment to the particular kernel environment for executing type of services. Okay, so observe in the Linux kernel environment, it consists several components. Just only I told process management, it is responsible to manage different types of processes. Memory management, it's going to be manage complete storage and memory information. And coming to the file systems, it's going to be manage complete file related operations. Okay, device drivers, it's going to be manage several drivers. See, previously we are going to be installing explicitly like sound drivers, network drivers, like LAN drivers, where explicitly we are going to be installing. But nowadays everything comes inbuilt with what? Operating systems. Those are all comes under what? Device drivers. Sometimes sound cannot be visible because the problem with what? Sound driver. Sometimes LAN unable to connect to your operating system, your computer. There is a problem with what? LAN. That time you need to install LAN drivers. Okay, like that. These are all maintained by what? Device drivers and a network. These are all what? Basic components of what? Kernel. Okay. See, next functionalities like multitasking, virtual memory, files directories, device access terminals, network consists what? Network functionalities. Coming to the software supports, like it going to be manage schedules, schedulers, architecture specific codes, memory manager is there. Internally file system consists what? File system types and block devices, like character devices, network related network protocols and network drivers. These are all considered what? Software supports and hardware supports. Coming to hardware. This is what complete low level in the OS architecture. It consists what CPU, central processing unit. I explained in the previous session regarding CPUs, types of CPUs, and different generations enable different types of CPUs, right? RAM, main memory, random access memory, like several hard disk, CD, floppy disk drivers, disks, various disks are available, various terminal equipments, network adapters. These are all what hardware. So this is the basic operating system architecture. Consists what user space and kernel space in the Linux environment. Coming to the Windows architecture, it is almost similar. Observe here, applications are there, subsystem servers. These are all called user mode and kernel mode. We may call it user space, kernel space, or user mode or kernel mode. Here all user related data and instructions are executed. In the kernel mode, all system related instructions and data is going to be executed. Okay, see, these are all what complete in detail about internal structure. Okay, just you need to understood how this operating system internally consists. Okay, see, that is fair enough up to here. These terminologies will discuss in detail in the further coming sessions. Okay, so this is about operating system architecture. You need to remember here two things. One is user mode, another called kernel mode. The user mode or user space, it's going to be executed what? User related instructions. In the kernel mode, it's going to be executed what? System related instructions completely. Okay, yes. See, coming to the measuring the system performance, how it going to be measures the system performance. See, one of the main functions of operating system is to monitor system performance, to debug processes and systems effectively, manage system resources, making system decisions, and evaluating and examining what systems. Okay, is basically it categorized by what? Process monitoring tools. Using this, we can measure what? System performances. Categorized by two things: real-time monitoring tools, another called log-based monitoring tools. So in case of real-time monitoring tools are concerned with what? Measuring the current system state and provides up-to-date information about the system performance. In case of log-based monitoring tools, see, tools record system performance information for what? Post processing and analysis, and to find trends in the system performance. Generally, these two are used to find what? Measuring the system performance. Okay, like these tools are used to what? Reduce the amount of data that is stored, including one for what? CPU utilization, system calls, memory allocation, buffer activity, paging activities, and many more in the complete internal structure of what? Operating systems. And coming to the task manager. See, task manager is what? Is probably the most well-known tool for what? Monitoring the processes on the Windows operating system. It gives users the ability to control the system by affecting the running process. See, simply you can right click on the computer and check it out the properties. Their task manager is available. There you can check it out. The complete system performance is going to be managed. Which system is currently working, which system is currently disabled, what is the allocation time, okay, how much memory is going to be utilized. That in task manager complete information is going to be displayed. Performance monitor. See, performance monitor is the second most common operating system performance monitoring tool for Windows, which acts as what? Both a real-time and log-based performance monitoring tools. So this is about what? Measuring system performance. Okay, in the coming session I will show you the practically how this task manager and what is the performance, which applications are running, which application not running. I will show you in detail. Okay, next, operating system concepts. Okay, here you need to understand basic level what are the words, terminologies are used in what? Operating system concepts, like what is process, what is files, what is pipes, what is system calls, shell, throughput, turnaround time. This is very commonly used in what? Operating system concepts. See, what is this process? A process is what? Basically a program in execution. Suppose in future we are going to be writing some set of programs, right? That a program yet to be executed, the program should in the execution, that is called a process. Simply a process is nothing but what is a basically a program in execution. Whatever the program we wrote that going to be executed, right, that become what? A process. Each unit of execution or a process may be further broken down into what? Even smaller unit of executions. The process generates what? Another process which becomes a child. The structure of the process thus create what become a process tree. That we'll discuss in detail in the next sessions, but just you remember here what is process. Simply remember, process is basically a program in execution. Okay. And another smallest unit of the execution in any system is called what? Thread. Thread is what? Light-weighted sub-process. Okay. Now don't worry, sir, what is this thread? What is multi-threading? What is single threading? We'll discuss, okay, in detail. See here, remember it, the sub-process or light-weighted sub-process is called what? Threads. That also comes under what? Process and thread mechanisms. Okay, right. See, what is this process consists? Again, different kinds of states are there, like a new state, running state, waiting state, ready state, terminated state. We'll discuss all these things in the next coming sessions when you are working with what? Single threading, multi-threading environments. Okay. And coming to the files, what is file? The information or data are stored in the form of what? File. Okay. Various types of file formats are there. Text files are there, document files are there, XLS formats are there, various PDF formats are there, different types of formats are there. Generally we are going to be storing complete data or instruction in the form of what? Files. Okay. So this is about what? Files. Yeah, enough up to here, enough about files. And next one is what? Pipes. See, what is this pipes? The pipe, a pipe is a sort of file that can be used to connect two processes together. See, these can be used for what? IPC, inter process communication. When process A want to send data to process B, it writes on the pipe as through it were on output file. Process B can read the data by reading from the pipe as through it were an input file. Most of the operating systems like Unix, DOS supports what? Concepts of what? Pipe mechanism, like process A and process B. Don't worry. See, just here pipe is a sort of file that can be used to what? Connect two processes together. Okay. Yes. Next about what? System calls. See, system calls just only we discussed in the structure of the operating system, right? So this is about what? System calls. It requests a service from the kernel of the operating system of which it is executed. It's going to be making some request from the user space. It's going to be making request to the Linux kernel environment for type of service operating system of which it is executed. Okay, so that is about what? System calls. So in detail I can explain, like, it is not always required that the user is directly interacting with the operating system for what? Creating files, directories, and for any other service required. User may use what? Available application programs like text editors to create files for storing their data. Application programs, communication with the operating system, and request services from it by making what? System calls. Each system call requires what? Certain parameters to be given using which operating system understands clearly as what it is needed. Okay, like operating system provides what? Several system calls for carrying out various activities like creating a file or directory, removing a file or a directory, renaming a file. Like such kind of activities are done by what? System calls. Okay, simply you can remember system calls, it requests a service from the kernel of the operating system of which it is going to be execute. Okay, next about shell. See, shell is nothing but what? Is a command interpreter for the operating system. See, OS receives what? Commands from the user in English like language that computer does not understood. It is the job of what? Command interpreter to interpret the instruction given by the user into what? Machine understandable language. For example, we'll use in the next sessions like MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk Operating System. There will pass some instructions to the operating system for executing the different kinds of command related operations. We'll discuss on that. Okay, here remember it, shell is the command interpreter for the operating systems. Okay, next, throughput. See, this is very familiar word using in the operating system. What is this throughput? Throughput is the total amount of work performed by the system over a given period of time. That is nothing but what? Throughput. See, more amount of work per unit of time considers what? Will prove the efficiency and usefulness of the operating system. But just remember, throughput is the total amount of work performed by the system over a given period of time. That is called throughput. Next, turnaround time. Turnaround time defines as the interval between the time a user submits his job to the system for processing and the time he receives the results. So this is also known as what? Response time. This is more crucial where different users share one system in a network. The number of users, the more load will be given on the operating systems. So this is about what? Turn around time. Okay, so this is about most commonly used terminologies in the operating system. Just listen these things. Okay, it will I will provide detailed explanation in the what? Operating systems subject. Okay, various components of operating system, just only we discussed in the structure, operating system architecture, right? Process management, memory management, file system, device drivers, networks. Just only explain the process management consists again multitasking, schedulers. In the memory management, like virtual memories, memory manager is responsible. File systems like files directories, file systems, blocking devices, device drivers like characters, different kinds of devices, network functionalities like network protocols, network drivers. Okay, yes, see the various components of operating systems like user interface, process management, memory management, file management, device drivers, security management, command interpreters, and a kernel. Okay, I try to provide just a brief introduction. Okay, here what is user interface? This component of the operating system is directing what you see on the screen. Say I'm seeing what I am going to be seeing in the screen and reacting to your key press and other inputs. The user interface could be a basic command line interface. Simply we can call CLI, command line interface, or it might be what? Graphical user interface, GUI, graphical user interface. Always remember CUI, I will explain in the DOS. The whatever the commands we are passing explicitly, wherever you are interacting with the particular operating system to execute our instructions or developing application in the form of commands, that comes under what? CUI, character user interfaces. Okay, with the help of what? Command line interfaces, CLI we can call it. GUI means what? Graphical user interfaces. There it enables what? Like buttons are enabled, like various components are enabled, like text boxes, check boxes, choice, list, canvas, like various user attractive and easy to communicate with what? Those applications. Simply we can call GUI based applications. Okay, see, best example like DOS, disk operating system, provides what? Command line interface, whereas like Windows based operating system provides what? GUI, graphical user interfaces. Okay, like coming to process management, like it responsible for what? Creation and deletion of processes, suspension and resumption of processes, and also we discussed about what? Providing mechanisms for process synchronizations, and providing mechanism for what? Deadlock handlings. Okay, we'll discuss in detail in the process management topics. Coming to memory management, just only we discussed, is a large array of words or bytes, each with its own addresses. It is repository of what? Quickly accessible data shared by the CPU and IO devices. It keep tracks of which it keep track of which parts of memory are currently being used and by which processes. It decides which processes to load when memory space becomes available. It allocates and deallocates what? Memory space as needed. That completely manageable by what? Memory management. Coming to the file management, a file is a collection of what? Related information used to represent what? Programs and data. Files are categorized on the basis of what? Information stored in it, such as data file, source file, and object files. Okay, so we'll discuss what is source file, what is data file, what is object file when we are working on the programs. See, operating system uses what? A file manager to control access to what? Files, like creation and deletion of files, creation and deletion of directories, control access to files, controls the naming of files, modification in existing files, supervises the storage of files, file backup on stable storage media. Like complete these file related operations are managed internally by file manager. Okay, and we discussed about device drivers. So every piece of hardware that makes up the computer or connected to it will have a device drivers that allows the operating system to control and communicate with it. There could be hundreds of device drivers pre-installed with the operating system, and the right ones for that particular computer setup are loaded on what? Boot up. Like I explained about printers, graphic tablets, scanners, digital cameras, and so on. These are all become what? Device drivers. And next, security management. So in case of security management, many operation system include some level of security based on what? Like the operating system provides access to a number of resources directly or indirectly, such as files on a local disk, personal information about users. The services offered by the programs running on the system. See, the operating system must be capable of what? Distinguishing between what? Request which should be allowed to be processed and others which should not to be processed, and how to provide security on what data presented in the operating system, completely managed by what? Security management internally, security manager. Okay. Next, command interpreters, just only explained about CLI, command line interface. It is the textual user interface in which user gives instructions to computer by typing the commands. GUI, graphical user interface, provides the user a screen full of graphics, icons or menus, and allows the user to make rapid selection from the displaying icons or menus to give an instruction to the computer. Okay, about kernel. Kernel is the heart of the operating system. It provides an interface between the hardware and the user. Just remember this much of things in the introduction of what? Operating systems. Okay, I hope you understood clearly about what is operating system, what are the various functionalities of operating system, and measuring the system performances like real time and log based. And also we discussed operating system concepts like process, files, pipes, system calls, shell, throughput, turnaround time. And also we discussed about various components of operating systems like user interface, process management, memory management, file management, device drivers, security management, command interpreters, and kernel. Okay, simply remember it. In this session I discussed what is operating system. Operating system is an like interface between what? Like end users to the hardware. It also enables several application related softwares and system related softwares. Okay, so this is about introduction of what? Operating system. Okay, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you all.